Hi everyone.
Hello.
That's sheet people are tuned in, and that's Danny Smith and
And Eugene S. Thank you for having
yeah,
me
again here.
again. We're gonna assault your ears with our senses.
Yeah. So as we have said already in our previous episodes, we're gonna air like every second, third week because we have two podcasts now, one in Ukrainian language and this one in English, in order to kind of cover the bigger and brighter side of the universe. And of course, to be closer with the United States and the UK and
And
all
the
English speaking world like Australia and so on and so on and so
and
on.
Berlin, especially Germany.
Yes, but it's I think like sides only. Okay, so last time we were talking what was coming, like why we came to abroad, why did we immigrate, what were the ideas, but we didn't really explain a lot about the causes of our and results of our moving abroad.
So you're
So,
Ukrainian. Why are you
Eugene,
abroad? Why are you abroad? You have to
why?
go back.
Why? Go
You
back.
must go back.
Yeah, so what's the reason, Eugene? Why did you immigrate?
Well, first of all, let me tell you that I had no complaints about Ukraine in a broader sense because, well, it's for me was not an easy decision, but starting from, I guess, from the second year of my studies, I thought, well, maybe there is something more destined for me. Maybe I could just explore the world a bit more, a bit further than just Lviv, because I started my studies. I was already in different parts of my country, so it was like a bit far away from home. But I was fascinated with the knowledge and with the topics I learned about political science and about the outlook of other nations. So, and one of the incentives for me was my primal experience, which I had during my exchange semester abroad. That was in Portugal, was part of the Erasmus student program, and I really understood that there can be something different from my usual studies in Lviv, because we had, as students, you do not can yourself remind yourself that we had enormous pressure on us. We had like five seminars for a session. I mean, you had to pass the exams, and you also had another five subjects to pass. So it was kind of very stressful environment we had experienced during our Lviv period, because we both studied at the same university, and I encountered some kind of freedom, intellectual freedom, and some kind of like broader scene, I would say. So for me, my first goal was to study abroad, not to live abroad, because as far as I understood, as a student, you experience like more freedom, but as a grown-up person, it's better to settle down somewhere. And I first did not see myself living somewhere abroad, and over time, that perspective changed. So, first of all, I was an exchange student in Portugal. Then I went back to Ukraine. I finished my studies, got my master's degrees. Then I had 1 year of compulsory conscription service in the army. And then the pandemic started. And during the pandemic, actually before that, after my service, I thought maybe I could join the foreign service of Ukraine, because back in the day, during the President Poroshenko, there was some reforms in the civil service, and I thought, well, maybe that's the time for me, opportunity for myself, because I studied international relations and English as my second language, and as interpreter. I decided, well, maybe that's time for me. But then we had also, well, it's partially, I blame the change of this regime, I would say, change of the power, because next president came into power and suddenly the reforms stopped, talking about my perspective. And during the pandemic, some of the positions that were published in the broader for broader audience to get access
So they
to.
actually stole your election.
Well, after the election, I would say the opportunities became less and less, I don't know, available for me. So I would not put it that harshly that way, but partially I decided, well, because of the pandemics
Alternative facts.
and because of the kind of a different outlook, and I was not completely happy with the direction Ukraine was heading to, I decided, well, maybe that's time for me to learn abroad, to try myself once again and to go somewhere else. And that's why I embarked on a long process of obtaining my German language certificate. And it actually took me 2 attempts to get to Germany. First of all, it was just the language course. And the second attempt was actually my application that was successful, and I was accepted to the University of Greifswald in the north of Germany. So actually, education was the main incentive and main goal. And after things went forward, I decided, well, maybe I'll be delayed here for a bit longer, because I see that, well, I would not find myself the place in Ukraine at the same time
Money.
right now. Power, well, money, of
Money,
course,
power, glory.
glory as in terms of like education opportunities. And the third one, maybe one of the weakest goals, but still there, is the using the access to information to get people know more about Ukraine. So that's it basically. And I'm doing this right now. And partially because of that, we had our first podcast, and we're doing the second one right now.
I'm as always eating something or stuffing my face.
Well, I know that your way abroad was a bit longer than mine.
Yeah.
It was from Poland, started from Poland, yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit longer, but it actually started the first connection somehow with abroad was in Italy. But it was really not the best experience, to be honest, because Italy was extremely chaotic, and the even how to say, I don't know, it was just super different. It was not how we did it in Ukraine, and really in negative meaning, because I lived in Rome and I have seen at that time discrimination towards women. Everything was misogynic.
Can you tell me what kind of trip was that? It was educational trip. It was like a language course. What was it?
No, it was educational trip. It was an exchange, like kind of exchange one way only.
When
Somebody went to Ukraine, but not the city where I lived.
how old were you?
14, 15.
14. Well, that's too far away in time.
Yeah, that's more than 10 years. So it was a decade ago. So it was totally different world, different times, different everything. And then I started studying already also in Lviv, so in the west of Ukraine, everything, but actually corruption pushed me out of Ukraine more
What kind of
than
corruption? Can you tell me?
opportunities.
University? Exams?
Yes, university. There
Internship?
were some. Yes, it was an internship. I got an internship in the Polish company. I think it was Mycogen. And I went through all of it was Lemberg for Future. And I have already passed all of the stages, everything. So it was only preparing visa, where it was also not a problem because the Polish embassy in Ukraine was ready to give us even like within one day all this stuff. But that was a problem mostly with university, which did not allow me to do my exams earlier, in order so I could go to the like to that company and get some new experience and so on, because it was really my idea to go there, be there for a little bit and then come back to bring some new experience, and everything. Plus there was something with biodegradable stuff and using the fungi for this. So it was really, really cool. And yeah. So I got that negative information, everything from my university, and they kind of were pushing me that, yeah, that I know that I will not pass my exams and blah blah blah, and that I will not be able to get there, and so on and so forth. And at the end, I said, no, no, fuck it, and I just decided to apply abroad. It was Poland and Canada, but Canada didn't work for some personal reasons, so that was Poland.
So
And
far away, Canada. Come on. And
yes, I
money
mean,
and
yeah, that was really too risky. And I got scholarships into all universities where I applied in Poland. So it was Warsaw, Katowice, and Wrocław. But I picked up Wrocław because it was my goal to go there, because they had the best biotechnology.
and Katowice simply doesn't exist.
No, no, they do exist, but the problem with them was that they were really at that time taking like so many Ukrainians, and I didn't want to be with Ukrainians.
You want to
so
go
much.
all foreign.
Yes, I wanted to go as far as possible from Ukrainians at that time. That was my kind of goal. And yeah, and when I was already in Poland, because of the whole change there of the government, which was partially anti-Ukrainian and was partially too Catholic, and like, yeah, there is this Bible and everything, all of this.
Bible is the last form of Christian is the last form of religion.
Yeah, I kind of don't understand this. Like when we have constitution has to be over that. But they were trying to kind of put the Bible over everything. It's just people, if who are our listeners and so on. If you like Bible, if you practice religion, it's your right. I will fight to protect it, but at the same time, I don't want this, like everything what's written in Bible being thrown on me. Or
Let me just summarize it all.
so yeah, their government, church, and anti-Ukrainian moods in Poland gave me the first kind of push to think, should I go back to Ukraine or go somewhere else? And one lab got me for apprenticeship.
Internship, let's say.
No. Apprenticeship. And they took me for a research project. And by this, I also got another scholarship plus the Erasmus. And that gave me an opportunity to live like without problems for more than half a year in Germany. So lab also didn't have to pay something super extra, and that's how I got to Germany. And then I think most of the expats or diaspora or immigrants, economical immigrants, we are like coming to some countries, and especially to Germany, and then you're like, why are you here? And there is no real explanation why you are here, because you got to Germany really accidentally. I didn't know language, I didn't know much about this country, I only knew about a very bad past, about Nazis, nothing good about Germany. And and like Germany, like where is that? It's not
5
like
years
Great
passed, you
Britain.
still cannot say anything good about it.
No, I can say a lot of good things. And yeah, now I speak German, study, work here, and hopefully even become a citizen of Germany. But that's talk for another.
Well, I will tell you one thing that you reminded me of something. Well, I think that it's time to bring it up. During my studies, when I was back in Lviv, because I would really get full Ukrainian education, so I really should have no complaint about Ukraine. I would really have enjoyed the opportunities, maybe of lesser degree, not just foreign service, but some of my group mates, they went into civil service on the local level, like in Lviv region administration. But I remember one thing. I had some guys who were studying together with me, and they used to say some very good things about, like, we had to battle corruption, we have to fight against corruption, but then I found out they paid for the master diploma to get this work, to get this diploma work written by the supervisor. So it was really awful, and they really turned me on. Like, why
Yes.
turn me off? Why should you? Why?
I fully
What
agree
is
with
all
this.
about? Yeah,
Yes, yeah. And I really wanted to have a fair game, like fair and square, having my bachelor, master's, and my PhD fully written on my own without having anyone helping me. Like, I mean, in the meaning, writing instead of me. I really hated it.
because I still know I talked with people that say that it's hard to defend PhD work because you have to invite the commission that should be present your defense. You have to pay for each member of the commission. Well, some of them maybe go through without that, but well, who knows? Who knows? You're not going to be one of them.
I
and
don't know.
really
It's for sure not
crushed
not
your
the
hopes.
majority. So no.
And sometimes you get in this like contradiction. At one side, you love Ukraine, you represent yourself as Ukrainian, but the other side, you understand that the conditions were not the best, and you want them to be the best, but you cannot influence that from inside, only from outside.
Yeah, so that's this story is slightly peaty, slightly hard, but it is how it is. It is how it is. And yeah, I think that is already kind of an immersion into our past and the causes which we were kind of fighting for while we moved abroad. So we will hear you in the next episode where we will talk a bit
Definitely.
more about the differences of the systems, I think.
I
like
can
overall.
talk more about the Ukrainian system because it was really painful to go through all those processes. I remember how I wanted to get my driving license. It was from the fifth attempt, I guess. So
No, I was talking mostly about the first
Life?
education
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
we have a
go
lot to talk
into
about
more details about Ukraine.
Sure.
So stay tuned, listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcast, iTunes, YouTube, and so on, and we'll hear from each other soon.
thanks, and see you next time.
Bye.